an API that you would use for that. So these are just links to other, lots of different data sets you can take a look at. Huh? All right, you can still hear me, right?
Yep, yeah, good. Go ahead.
All right, great. All right, so let's moving on really quick. I apologize. I wasn't aware that you guys actually were seeing that that dialogue because you can have a really small computer that you can get online. This F1 micro device, you can get it for free every month. Yeah, so that's you have to plug in your credit card, but everybody wants to get a VM a month basically. And if you do need to have, if you have a big workload and you need to have a giant machine, you can get all the way up to 416 vCPUs, 12 terabytes, almost 12 terabytes of RAM, and 256 terabytes of hard disk. So it's a pretty large machine, pretty expensive. So just got to be careful. You can attach GPUs and TPUs to it, and then we support most versions of Linux as well as Windows Server. If you are doing machine learning and you're getting your own hardware, you can attach TPUs to it. So the API lets you put together a VM along with TPUs to help you with your training. So if you can't see the link to the blog post down at the bottom, but when you get the slide deck, you should be able to get access to the if you don't see the blog post, just let me know. But if you go to our website, it'll link you to the blog post. But basically, they sort of like did a comparison where if you use a TPU pod, a pod of TPUs, it can be 27 times faster and 38% cheaper than using 8 GPUs. So TPUs are processing units especially made to do machine learning training with. Okay, there's also App Engine. So if you have a great app idea, but like if you get a VM, guess what? You have to think about operating systems, then database servers, then web servers, and all these things. So maybe you don't have time for that. Maybe you just wrote an app and you just want to upload it to the cloud and run it. So that's what App Engine is for. Then we also have Cloud Functions, where maybe you don't have an entire app. Maybe you just want to deploy like small little functions or microservices. So that's what Cloud Functions are for. And then there's also a mobile version for Firebase, because Firebase is our mobile development platform. And then the third type of tool we provide is if you have a container and you don't want to manage the container yourself, or maybe it's too difficult for you to set up Kubernetes because your set with your container is not that complicated. So Cloud Run basically helps you run containers serverlessly. But if you do need custom hardware, okay, because Cloud Run will run on a specific hardware set that we give you. But if you need things like GPUs, or you need to run on a VPC, then you can run Cloud Run on Kubernetes, our managed Kubernetes service called Google Kubernetes Engine. So it's another option for you. And then Cloud Run, you can also, it's compatible with Knative, so you can actually run it on your on-prem Kubernetes setup as well too. So it's very flexible. So for storage, there's Google Cloud Storage. So that's our giant data lake, where all of your data rivers flow into your data lake. This is where you put your multiple terabytes of data, and then you just say, hey, which GCP service do I want to use? And you just point them at your cloud storage bucket, and you can process it immediately from there. So it's sort of like, not only is it for data storage, but it's also your entry point into using different cloud services. Now, instead, if you're looking for something more like a NAS, like an NFS-mounted file server in the cloud, and that's Cloud Filestore. So as you can probably guess, that's a completely different use case than like massively putting your data in one giant archive. So that's that Filestore. We also have relational databases. So if you want to use MySQL, Postgres, or SQL Server managed in the cloud, so you don't have to do it. We also let you choose your hardware configuration as well too. So that's that. In addition to SQL, we also have NoSQL. So that's Cloud Datastore. So it's very fast, very scalable, fully managed NoSQL database. However, don't use it. There's something better coming up in the slides, but I at least needed to tell you about its existence.